voltage regulation. So here voltage regulation is equal to by using phasor diagram. This is called lagging load and this is called leading load. So here voltage regulation is equal to I2 into Re2 cos pi 2 plus or minus I2 into Xe2 sin pi 2 divided by V2 into 100. Okay, this is called voltage regulation. Here negative sign for leading power factor and positive sign for lagging power factor. You know well. So here voltage regulation. So the I2 into Re2 cos pi 2. Okay. So I2 into Xe2 sin pi 2 divided by V2 into 100. So you know well for lagging power factor load. So this is the phasor diagram. For leading power factor load, this is the phasor diagram. Okay, for lagging power factor load, so the secondary current I2 lags the voltage by some angle. So lags the voltage by some angle. Okay, lags the load volt. So for lagging load, this is called voltage across the load. So V2 is called voltage across the load, and I2 is called current flowing to the load. For lagging power factor load, this current lags the voltage by some angle. That's why some theta2 takes some angle, that is called theta2. I2 and is lag the voltage by some angle theta2, that is called theta2. And then here I2 into Re2. I2 into Re2 is called voltage drop. Am I right? V is equal to I into R. That is called I2 into Re2. That's called voltage drop. And across the resistor, Re2 is nothing but resistor. The voltage drop across the resistor is called I2 into Re2. That is called secondary winding of the load. Okay. So I2 into Re2, that is called voltage drop across the resistance. So that's why across the resistance, voltage and currents are in place. That's why. So current I2 in this direction. Okay. So current I2 is like this one. Same way I2 into Re2, this is called voltage. Voltage drop also same in phase with the I2. Voltage drop and the I2 and Re2, so both are in phase because of the angle between this two 0. I2 into Re2. This I2 and I2 Re2. This is called I2 Re2 is voltage drop in phase with I2. Okay. The angle between these two are parallel, exactly parallel. That's why the angle between these two 0. And then I2 into Xe2. So this is called reactance across the inductor. So it leads by some angle. Voltage leading. This is called voltage. I2 into Xe2 is called voltage. It's leading. That's why. So I2 into Re2 this is called voltage drop and is leading by some angle like this. I2 into Xe2. And the resultant of these two. So V2. This is called V2, and this is nothing but okay I2 into Re2 cos pi 2. Okay, and then this is called I2 into Xe2 sin pi 2 is equal to E2. Understood? So the resultant E2 is nothing but addition of this V2 plus I2 into Re2 plus I2 into Xe2. So I'm already explained. So this Y means yeah. So try to consider here. This is called output equation, the transformer. E2 is equal to V2 plus I2 into Re2 cos pi 2 plus I2 into Xe2 sin pi 2. Why these relations we are getting means for inductive load according to phasor diagram. E2 is equal to V2 plus I2 into Re2 cos pi 2 plus I2 into Xe2 sin pi 2. Here S is called secondary, otherwise two notations different. Concept is same, that is called Re2 or Res. Okay, so these expressions we are getting from this phasor diagram. Okay, so like this for inductive, for lagging load, so plus for lagging power factor load and minus for leading power factor. Same way here also for leading power factor load. So I2 is called current. Na? So across the capacitive load, that is called leading power factor. Current leads the some voltage by some angle P theta 2. This current leads the angle by some theta 2. So for capacitive load, current leads, voltage lags. That's why. So like this. And also I2 into Re2, this voltage drop is in phase with I2, this current. So that's why I2 into Re2. So this is called in phase with and I2. For capacitive load, so what is the for capacitive load across the current? For capacitive loads, current leads. So that's why I2 into Xe2, this is called voltage drop across the capacitors like this. So we'll get I2 into Xvs. The voltage across the capacitor is lagging and the current leading. So I2 into Re2, this is called voltage drop. Okay, across the resistor, and then the I2 into Xe2 is called lagging. Okay, that's why we will get like this. So this then E2 is nothing but V2 plus I2 Re2 cos pi 2 minus. So we are subtracting this. Okay, minus I2 into Xe2 into sin pi 2. So that's why we are getting minus here for capacitors. Understood? So this is the voltage regulation, and then efficiency enable output power by input power. So into under output by output power losses. V2 to cos pi 2 to the extent to V2 to cos pi 2 by V2 to cos pi 2 Pi plus X. This is the efficiency of the transformer. Okay. So short time answer the question. So what are no load losses occurring in a transformer? Renewable iron losses. No load losses are iron losses. Okay. And hysteresis losses we can classify into hysteresis and electrical loss. Why efficiency of transformer high compared to other electrical machines? Because of there is no rotating parts. Okay, transformer is a static device, not having any rotating parts. That's right. The transformer is efficiency is high compared to all remaining. Okay, understood. The transformer efficiency is high because of compared to all other. Because of rotating parts. In machines, rotating parts are there. Some extra frictional losses are takes place in that's called mechanical losses or frictional losses. But in your transformer static device, there is no rotating loss. That's why transformer efficiency compared to remaining devices, that is called DC machines or induction machines or synchronous machines. Understood? And then define efficiency or all efficiency. I'm already explained. Output power by input power is called efficiency, and average efficiency is nothing but kilowatt hour. Output in kilowatt and input in kilowatt. So that's all. Transformers are normally considered as a efficient devices. Okay, transformer is efficient device. As normally transformer considered efficient device because of static device, there is the loss are very less. Okay, why efficiency of transformer is high much as much as 96%. Why transformer efficiency is high as much as 96%, means 96% and above. Why means because of transformer do not having rotating parts, mechanical loss does not there's no rotating parts. It's not a static device. It's not a rotating device. It's a static device. Transformer. That's why the mechanical loss are absent. Okay. How can eddy current loss be reduced by using a laminating core? Eddy current loss can be reduced by using laminating the core of the transformer. So you know well, laminations from 0.35 mm to 0.5 mm. Thickness of laminations. Okay, each lamination must be insulated from each other, insulating layer. That is called varnish. By using varnish, each lamination insulated from each other. That's why the eddy current loss in transformer is reduced. And then how many iron losses? How many iron losses are reduced or minimum? Am I right? The iron losses can be minimized by using material, magnetic material, that is called steel. Using steel material, iron losses can be measured by using steel. Silicon steel, having sufficient quantity of silicon by adding sufficient quantity of silicon. So that's called silicon steel. So that is called cold rolled grain oriented steel, CRG steel. By using this type of steels, the transformer losses can be minimized. Okay, and the core is laminated, and each lamination is the thickness of 0.35 to 0.55 insulation. Understood? The transformer buzzing noise cannot be avoided. So transformer is buzzing noise or humming noise. Am I right or not? You are standing beside of the transformer is making sound, that is called buzzing noise or humming noise. Am I right? Buzzing noise or humming noise. So because of since the magnetostriction phenomena cannot be avoided. So buzzing noise is produced in the transformer, cannot be avoided because of. So when the transformer core is subjected to the alternating magnetic flux. Okay. So these magnetic domains are arranged in a systematic order in one direction. So when the transformer core is subjected to the one positive flux. Whenever the transformer core is subject to the negative side, negative peak, these magnetic domains are changing the direction of orientation. That's why the transformer is making sound. That's called vibrating. Small increasing the length of the transformer core and decreasing length of the core. With the length and the size of the transformer is increasing, decreasing. Okay. So this is the concept regarding the transformer. These are the different type of short answer questions.